I felt it the second it happened. The moment her laugh didn't sound like it belonged to her anymore. It was a Friday night. One of those corporate mixes her company hosted every now and then. Jenna had convinced me to come this time, saying it would look good if we showed up together. I thought maybe that meant she wanted to fix whatever distance had been stretching between us these last few months. At home, she'd been somewhere else entirely, smiling at her phone more than at me, always too tired for dinner together, too busy for the quiet things we used to share. The house was already alive when we arrived. Warm light spilled over the lawn, glasses clinked, voices buzzed against the hum of music. I grabbed a drink, trying to quiet the unease curling in my chest. Within minutes, Jenna disappeared into the crowd, slipping away so fast it was like trying to hold water in my hands. I told myself to breathe, not to turn into that husband, the jealous, sulking shadow at the edge of her life. So I made small talk, shook hands, laughed when I was supposed to. But the heaviness in my chest stayed, coiled tight. Then I heard it. That laugh, light, breathless, the one she used to save just for me back when we were new. My heart sank before my feet even started moving. I followed the sound out through the glass doors and onto the patio. And there she was. Half hidden, her hand resting against another man's chest as he leaned in close, saying something just for her. His thumb traced lazy circles against her wrist. She didn't move, didn't pull away. I froze, watching her lips part, her fingers linger. My drink went sour in my mouth. "You good?" one of her coworkers said in passing, barely noticing me. I said nothing. I couldn't. I just turned and walked back through the house, out the door. The night air was sharp as I unlocked the car. I didn't call her, didn't text. I wasn't going to make a scene. The drive home blurred past, headlights, empty streets, that laugh ringing in my head like a cruel little echo. I sat in the living room for hours, staring at nothing, waiting for the night to end. Was this the first time? The only time? Or just the first time I'd caught her? By 2 a.m, I knew what I was going to do. I wouldn't beg for her truth. If she wanted to burn this down, she could do it without me helping hold the match. I locked the bedroom door from my side and lay awake, counting every tick of the clock. She came home at 3:15. I heard her heels clatter against the hardwood, the soft curse as she kicked them off. No bedroom door opened. Just cabinets opening in the kitchen, the sound of her moving carefully, quietly. At 7:30, there was a knock. "Daniel." Her voice was small, unsteady. "Can we talk?" I didn't answer. Another knock, harder this time. "Please open the door." I got up slowly and cracked it open just enough to see her face. Her eyes red, makeup smeared, the night still clinging to her like smoke. "You just left," she whispered. "Should I have stayed?" I asked, and she flinched. Her lips parted, searching for words. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what I think," I said, holding her gaze. Tears welled in her eyes. "It was just talking." "With your hand on his chest." "Daniel, I swear. I don't want to hear it." My voice was calm, too calm. I stepped past her into the kitchen and started making coffee, my hands steady now, my anger gone cold. She followed me, restless, wringing her hands. I drank too much. He was just being friendly. Friendly. I turned, staring at her. "That's what we're calling it now." "You don't understand." "I understand enough. I saw you." She seemed to collapse then, leaning against the counter, unable to stand as tall as she had before. "I messed up," she whispered. "That's all it was? Just a mistake." Her silence was louder than any answer she could have given. The morning dragged on in pieces, her stumbling explanations, my quiet questions. She said it was nothing, that nothing had happened. When I asked if this was the first time, her pause told me everything. Was he worth it? I asked at last. Her tears spilled freely now. "No," she said, voice breaking. "It wasn't like that. I never even had feelings for him. That wasn't what this was about. It was just that I felt like I had disappeared, Daniel, like I had become invisible." That word hurt more than anything else. After all the late nights, the weekends I gave up, everything I poured into building a life for us, I felt unseen. "You felt invisible," you said. "So you grabbed for the first hands that made you feel noticed." You sobbed, but didn't answer. All afternoon you were restless, pacing, dialing your sister and hanging up before she picked up. Once, you reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Not now, I told you. We skipped lunch, barely spoke, and I sat at the table staring at my laptop, pretending to read emails while the words turned into nothing. You curled up on the couch like a child waiting to be forgiven, and the weight of what you'd done filled every corner of the house. By nightfall I still didn't know what to do, whether to stay, to go, to fight, or to give up. At 10 that night you broke, kneeling in front of me, clutching my hands, begging me not to leave you. Your voice cracked as you told me you didn't want him, didn't want anyone else, that you were drunk, stupid, desperate for attention, and that you hated yourself for it. I looked at you, the woman I had once sworn my life to, and saw how heavy this weighed on you. Here's what no one tells you. Betrayal isn't always about cruelty. Sometimes it's just weakness, selfish, reckless weakness, but it still destroys you all the same. I told you I couldn't decide that night, that I needed space, and you nodded through your tears, promising you'd do anything, begging me not to give up on us. I stood, freed my hands from yours, and went upstairs without another word. The days after blurred together, quiet meals, empty conversations. I moved into the guest room. You started therapy. I started writing again. 6 weeks passed. Some mornings I wake and almost forget. Almost. Other mornings, the memory crushes me all over again. The image of your hand on him where it used to rest on me. I'll admit you're trying. You deleted your accounts, cut ties with him, scheduled counseling sessions. But trust doesn't grow back clean. It doesn't bloom smooth and whole. It grows back jagged, if it grows at all. Last night you asked me if I still loved you. I didn't answer at first. I stared at the ceiling, listening to the rain, and finally said I love the woman I married, but I don't know if that's you anymore. You cried yourself to sleep, and I lay awake wondering if some betrayals aren't meant to be forgiven, only survived. This morning you broke again, not just from guilt but from finally understanding what betrayal really means. That love isn't a net you can fall through without tearing holes in it, and even when you sew it back together, the seams remain. I still haven't decided what comes next, but I do know this. The man I was before that night is gone. Whatever future we have, together or apart, will be built on truth, not illusions. Because I would rather be alone with honesty than stay bound to a love cracked by betrayal.